Podcast. Presented by XFL2K.com. With your host, Tron Hawkins.
Welcome to This is the XFL Podcast. I'm your host, Tron Hawkins. Today's a huge episode. I first started this podcast about a year ago. It'll be a year ago on December 6th. The most responsive people to the podcast was St. Louis, which is crazy because I came out with the podcast the day that the cities was announced. But a lot of St. Louis fans follow me. I got a lot of BattleHawks fans that follow me. I did an episode on the history of St. Louis football, and that was huge. It was a huge episode, my first really big episode that I did. I did one on Isaac Bruce because a lot of people wanted him to be the coach at the time. Did a lot of listens. There's a lot of listens on that too. So St. Louis is near and dear to my heart. I think they have a pretty good team, especially on defense. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Well, first off, we'll talk about what they're playing at. They're playing the Dome. The Dome is, very, very special to St. Louis. Nobody's played there since the Rams. This year's the 20th anniversary of the greatest show on turf. For one, I think it's crazy that they don't get a home game week 1. You think St. Louis would get a home game week 1, but they don't get one until week 3, which we're going to talk about the schedule in a minute. But that Dome could be the best home field advantage in the league because it's indoors. It's gonna be loud. You got fans. It's the only team in the league that don't already have an NFL team. Excuse me. It's crazy that they don't have a week 1 game. They're gonna wait until week 3. The good thing about that is it don't matter if they start out 1-1, 2-0, or 0-2. There's gonna be a packed crowd for that home opener against the Guardians. I think they have a good team on defense. Jonathan Hayes is a newer coach. He's the coach with the least experience in this league. But, being a player before tight end for Cincinnati, I think he'll be a great coach. He's obviously put together a good team. He knows what he's doing. And I think he's a class act, how he wants to get them involved in the community and everything, get them involved. That's the first thing. Like, the first thing he said was, I want my players to be involved in the community in St. Louis. So it's going to be a fun team to watch. I got them going to the Eastern Finals against the Defenders. Spoiler alert. As I was saying about Coach Hayes, he's the least experienced one. I think I had him number 8 in the ranking of the coaches. But that don't mean he's not going to be a great coach. He has passion. He obviously knows how to draft. I think he picked a great defense. I think it's going to be a defensive team and a run-heavy team, as we're going to talk about later on when I talk about the players. But I think he has an idea of what to do in this league. He's going to throw some, but I don't think he's going to throw a lot. I think he'll be probably going to have the most rushing yards in the league. That's why he picked who he picked for the first pick. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Let's go over their schedule right quick. Week 1, not easy. They go at Dallas. That's the main event of the weekend. That's going to be probably the best game of the weekend. That defense against Landry Jones. Week 2, they go at Houston against June Jones. So, 2 hard games with the week back-to-back. Week 1 and week 2. Week 3, the home opener against the Guardians. I think that's actually a winnable game. And then they bring Seattle to town week 4. So they're back-to-back home games that they open on the road back-to-back. They play the Defenders, which could be a championship game preview. Week 5 at Audi Field. Week 6, they go their first visit to Tampa. And here's interesting. Week 7, it's the one everybody probably circled on the calendars when they first announced the cities. It is at the Dome. It's the Wildcats of LA against St. Louis. When the schedule come out, St. Louis is like, this is the big one, and you know why. So they're even hyping it up as a rivalry game. So I can't wait to see that. Fans online has been talking about the Vipers, though. I don't know if St. Louis and Tampa Bay is going to be like a rivals because of that, but a lot of St. Louis fan pages is like, Vipers piecing down. Vipers fans piecing down and stuff. So it's kind of random, but it's funny to see. So it'd be interesting, both those games. Then they go to New York week 8. And then they finish at home week 9 and week 10 against the Vipers and the Defenders. So it's interesting to see, and it's possible that week 10 they could be playing for home field in the championship game between the between the Defenders and St. Louis. So it's possible that they could be just playing for home field in the Eastern championship. I think it's a good schedule. I see them going maybe 7-3. I think they might start at 0-2 and then just kind of run the gauntlet from there. I see them maybe lose the 6-4, 7-3. I think is possible for St. Louis. They don't really have a whole lot of games on national TV, like the big channels, like Fox and ABC. So here's how it breaks down. They have week 1's on ESPN, week 2's on FS1, week 3's on ESPN, week 4 is their first big one on Fox, week 5 is Fox Sports 1, week 6 is actually one of the only games on Fox Sports 2, week 7 on Fox, the LA game at the Dome. Week 8 on Fox, week 9 on ESPN2, and finally week 10 will either be on ABC or Fox Sports 1, which the bigger games will be on ABC, so I see them being on ABC that week. So, they're on pretty big channels, but Fox Sports 1, ESPN is kind of like their home for the St. Louis. But I get it. They're not a huge market or anything like that. Again, this is articles on XFL board. This one's written Mike Mitchell. It's the draft cap for St. Louis. St. Louis team. If you have any, these guys get in depth. Like XFL Newsroom does an amazing job for like the news and stuff. But I understand getting into this is too much. I don't know how these guys even have time to do it. So I appreciate the work they put in, so I can kind of figure out who these players are. Because to be honest with you, a lot of people don't know who some of these players are because they're not lower tier. I mean, they're good players. But yeah, picking up XFL Newsroom, check him out, xflnewsroom.com. Check us out check him out on Twitter at XFL Newsroom. Check me out at XFL Podcast on Facebook and Twitter. XFL Newsroom and me's been working together since day one, pretty much. Also check out XFL Unhinged on his YouTube page with J Dash in them. Great podcast system we kind of got going. Check out on Fridays this week in XFL with XFL Newsroom with the ref. It's wonderful stuff. Wonderful page we got going on over there. So the first quarterback they had assigned to them was Jordan ta-amu from Ole Miss. He's only 21. He's an undrafted rookie. He spent all summer backing up Deshaun Watson in Houston. The thing is, though, he's kind of like, it's weird. He's kind of like Jonathan Hayes in a way. Jonathan Hayes is not he don't have a lot of experience. Neither does Jordan ta-amu. So they're kind of doing this together. Like, oh, I'm a starting quarterback now for a pro team. You're the first-time coach. What are we going to do here? Because Jonathan Hayes has only been a positioning coach, like tight end coach for Cincinnati. He's just been a positional coach. He's never been an offensive coordinator, never been a defensive coordinator. He even have his brother to be a defensive coordinator. They're learning together, which could be dangerous. They might get it, they might be able to put it together. But here's my thing about him. He finished second SEC behind Tua. Everybody finished second SEC behind Tua their senior year, or last year. He had 19 touchdowns, 8 picks. He had 342 yards, 6 touchdowns. Here's my problem with him. He has upside, don't get me wrong. I would have looked good with DJ Metcalf, AJ Brown, and Dawson Knox. Dawson Knox has been an awesome tight end for the Bills. Metcalf in Seattle, AJ Brown for Tennessee. I'd have been great. So the thing is, it's not one of those things where, like minicamp starting this week. It's not one of those things where you have time to work it out. Like, oh, okay, we got a season getting ready. No, the season's now. This is 10 games. It's a sprint. You might not have time to get it ready. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's a good quarterback, don't get me wrong. But he's young. He is very young. So they addressed this. Now, they drafted a quarterback, but I'm going to talk about him right this second. I'm going to talk about Taylor Hanneke. They got assigned him. He's from Old Dominion. He was awarded All-American Honors, CAA Offensive Player of the Year, and the Walter Payton Award at Old Dominion when he went there. In his career at Old Dominion, he had 14,959 yards, 132 touchdowns, 39 picks. He also ran 367 times for 1,320 yards and 22 touchdowns. Here's the knock on him, though. He's hurt. He started last year, one game. He started one game last year. He appeared in 6 games. But week 16 against the Falcons, Cam Newton was out with a shoulder injury. He started against them. He threw for 274 yards on 53 attempts, completed 33 of 53 with a touchdown and 3 picks. But he suffered an elbow injury and got replaced by Cal Allen, who is now the starter for Carolina. So the knock on him is he's always hurt. Like, he's been placed on injury reserve until 2017. He was placed on injury reserve until 2016 for injury he suffered between minicamp and training camp, like at the short-term IR when he was with the Vikings. So he's always hurt. Like, he's never been on the field. He could be a wonderful quarterback, and I think he might win the starting job just because he's had experience. But really up to Jonathan Hayes. Do you want to take a shot with the upside, or do you want to give this kid a chance who might end up hurt, and he might just have to end up going to Jordan ta-amu anyway? I mean, that's just kind of the way you got to look at it. To me, I would pick Jordan ta-amu just because the upside's the limit. My question is, when they first did their list, was Hanneke higher? Hanneke, whatever his name is, he could have been higher than Jordan ta-amu, but he was with the practice squad. I mean, he got assigned to the BattleHawks for a reason. So that's going to be one of the interesting battles. We're going to talk more about this battle in the training camp battle episode, because that's really the big battle. To me, we're going to talk about later on the next episode with the Wildcats. I'm not going to really talk a lot about the supplemental draft. I know a lot of these guys might have been drafted to the NFL or picked up by the NFL already. I'm going to talk about, but the thing is, they have rights. Like from what I understand, when an NFL team picks up one of these players from the XFL, the team still holds rights. So when they get cut from the practice squad, they can go to the XFL and play on that team. So I'm still going to talk about them because chances are they're going to come back. In the player draft in round 1, they killed it with Christine Michael. I thought Christine Michael was going to be the top pick just because of his pedigree. They got Christy Michael and Matt Jones, which I talked about in other episodes. It's like lightning and thunder. Matt Jones is a heavy runner from Florida. He also played for the Redskins. Christy Michael, A&M, Seattle. Christy Michael's career was actually off to a good start till he got hurt. They're both young, and they can run. I mean, they ain't like they ran for 100,000 yards in their careers. He won the Walter Payton Award for being the best high school player in the country. Did Christy Michael? He's a second round pick, but he only had 254 carries, and he only had 9 starts. Jones picked the 5th round, so he's only 26. So these two guys are young. I think they're going to run him into the ground, and I think that they could just run the ball. They're going to lead the league in rushing, I believe, with them two. So when it comes to wide receivers, Doug Meacham, the offensive coordinator, runs their air raid offense, which a lot of these coaches do. They have Damani Pearsonell from Nebraska and local Missouri guy, Damian Washington. But they also, in the supplemental back draft, picked up Terrence Williams. The reason why this point is, I think Terrence Williams would have been drafted in the draft pretty high, but he thought maybe he can hold out for an NFL team that never came calling. I don't understand why he's not in the league. He was awesome in his career at Baylor. He was awesome with the Cowboys, being number 2 behind Dez. And then even being a number 1 when Dez was out. Terrence Williams is a good football player. Why does he not have a job in the NFL? Something wrong there, I think. But with that group, he's going to be awesome. Pearsonell had a impressive stint in the AAF, and with the Raiders this past summer, he has a great open field ability and can be a lethal punt returner. One of those Swiss Army knives I've been talking about, the X Factor. Washington is 6'4" with long speed. Trey Brown has also got picked. I mean, Trey Brown has familiarity with him from his time in Birmingham. He's 28. LaDainian is, but he's been on 7 NFL teams, 2 CFL teams, and AAF. Hopefully, this is a chance for him to stick. Like, this might be his landing spot. Marcus Lucas, another wide receiver with big size, 6'4", 250 pounds. Who can also play tight end, which you might need to with all your receivers. There's going to be a crowded room in St. Louis. Alonzo Russell, who got picked by Jonathan Hayes, he had him. The wide receiver had him in Cincinnati, so Jonathan Hayes is used to him. The final pick of phase 1 was Jordan Lashley, his former 5th-round pick of the Ravens. He led the Pac-12 in receiving yards his senior year, or his last year in college. But he's had off-the-field issues. He was suspended for 3 games for undisclosed reasons. And then as a pro this past summer, he was waived by Lockmart to get into a fight with teammates. But he can dominate. He dominated UCLA, and then he was off-field issues. But we'll see if he can stick around in the XFL. Next offensive line, which is, in these secondary leagues like the AAF, they can be a crapshoot. Like the AAF one was bad. They have a senior offensive lineman, Matt McCannis, who stands out. He's 30. He's a senior offensive lineman. He's 30 years old, former NFL pick, has most of his career as a sling lineman in the NFL. But he was with the Birmingham Iron, who ran the ball a lot. That's what I'm getting at. I think they built this offensive line to run the ball. I think this is going to be a running team that plays good defense. Brian Folkers of St. Louis Rams is there. He played 28 games in the NFL. But he was a swing lineman pro. He's coming in and out. Dallas Thomas is a guard, 3rd-round former club breakout in Miami, out of the Miami Dolphins. He had 26 career starts on his belt. So St. Louis did a little bit different. Not only are they going to run the ball, they got something that's hard to find. Veteran offensive lineman who's played in the NFL. I think he's going to be great. I think they're going to have a great line, great running game. Trent Perkins was picked from Texas. He spent 2 years with the Bengals. He was coached by BattleHawks line coach Brian Broswell, as well as Jonathan Hayes. Perkins assisted back and forth on the biggest passing squad since 2017. He retired, got waived, but now he's out of retirement to join his former Bengals coach. So hopefully he gets his career restarted and decides, hey, I want to do this. Jake Campos spent his entire season as the Cowboys practice squad until 2018. He's a very good player out of Iowa State. He projects from offensive tackle to guard, the chances he's been making since he turned pro. Cowboys got a lot of linemen. I mean, that might be the only reason he didn't get on the field. They just might not have room for him. This is a strong group from 1 to 10. They said Murray is being worked out by NFL teams. Gothard is from the Patriots. Dijon Allen was all-conference player at Hawaii. And Jawan Bushnell Beatty is a monster tackle with tons of upside, a late bloomer at Michigan who needs to control his weight. Again, they're good up front. The offensive line, they might have the best offensive line in the league. And I think that's why offensive line plays going to be important. But the thing is with St. Louis is their quarterback situation. They have the worst quarterback situation, I think, in the league. If they had even an Aaron Murray, I think they'd be top, winner, championship level. Not saying they are now. I mean, I got them going to the division championship game, but I just don't see it. This is defensive front 7. Phase 3 was also strong from top to bottom. While many players are not household names, when you start digging deep, you can see upside. Marcus Hardison, Kerry Thornton, and Casey Sales, all 3 have good college pedigrees and NFL background. Defensive coordinator Jay Hayes, who made a living coaching up defensive linemen in the NFL for years, had some experience D linemen to work with. Again, they got experience. Here's what they did. They took experience at the important position, not saying quarterback is important, but at like the line positions, and then went upside with quarterback, I think. Chandler Ward is a player that Hayes coached in Tampa with the Buccaneers. Ward is undersized, 279 pounds, DT, with pass rushing skills, who hadn't been able to stay healthy. Andrew Ankra is a big-time defensive star in FCS for James Madison. He also was with Orlando. Another Apollo, Terrence Garvin, was the best linebacker in the AAF, according to some people. He plays sideline to sideline. Great pick by them. Nicholas Grisby is a similar type player. He's been on and off 6 NFL practice squads. He's also a hard hitter. Like I said, a lot of you guys have been on practice squads. A lot of these guys go back and forth to practice squads. This is their chance to get on the field and have people watch them, not just being the practice squad guy. You don't want to be a practice squad guy all your life. Some people make good money. I don't blame them, but they want to get tape on them. So the biggest sleeper in this phase is Jamil Garcia Williams. He might not make it to the roster come February. The 6'7", 250-pound edge rusher out of UAB had 9.5 sacks last season and 15 tackles for loss in his senior year. He was undrafted and was signed by the Niners for being waived. NFL teams, including the Raiders, have worked him out, and JGW is on the NFL team's radar. That's why he might not be on it. No shame in making the Niners roster. He currently boasts the best pass rush and pass defense. Another player that was part of NFL cutdown is Jimmo President. He's an edge rusher that can play defensive end and has stood up well at outside linebacker. Next up for the BattleHawks. Next up for the BattleHawks, the defensive backfield. This is a good group. I think this is probably the best defensive backfield too. I'm going to talk about them in just a second. It's going to be wonderful. So while every other team seemed to go cornerback heavy the first few picks of this phase, the BattleHawks decided to go safety position, using 4 of his first 5 picks at safety. Herb Mira, who's listed as safety, can also play corner. He's a long player ready to open field tackles, who has experience playing in the nickel and at safety. He's not a traditional outside corner because of lack of speed. So, that's why he's at safety. Miller tried out for the Chiefs this summer and impressed them enough during a contract. He didn't make it the final cuts, however. But, he might end up in the NFL. He might already have before it's over. The biggest story coming out of this phase was Keaney Robinson. To me, this is the biggest get of the draft in the defensive backfield part. He's young. He's the all Big 12 safety, projected to be a day 1 or 2 pick in the NFL draft, but has decided a day 2 NFL draft pick, but he's decided to turn pro now. He pretty much said he don't want to be in the underwear Olympics. Talking about college football. He's the first guy that come out of college to play. Might be the only guy that I know of. He hits hard. He's coming into the perfect situation, playing alongside 2 veteran safeties in Will Hill, who's a stud, and Dexter McCoyle. Cornerback DeMontre Wade is very similar to Herb Miller, a strong pass corner who's very physical. You get that sense that Tim Lewis, who will be coaching up the defensive backs, is going to be playing a lot of zone and press coverage. Again, get in their face. Don't let them catch it. This is going to be a passing lead. You're going to have corners and safeties. I've been saying that since day 1. You're going to have that. Trey Cardwell is a former 5th-round pick by the Browns out of ULM. 4.3 speed, but only stands at 5'9", so he's kind of short. He's another player at the bottom of the NFL rosters that never break through. They have another guy, Ryan Watt. He plays safety and corner on this roster. They got a lot of versatile switch army knives, which I love. So now we're going to the open phase. They took Elliott Fry, who went on. I don't think he said he don't want to do it anymore. They don't want to be in the XFL from what I heard. They took Robot in the first round, second pick. I think it's ta-amu and I think it's Hanneke. That's going to be the main 2. So that's why I really talk about them. I think that's going to be the battle because you got to sign both of them. The signed ones have the edge to begin with. They passed up on Callahan, BJ Daniels, and Zach Bedberger in this phase, which was crazy. I thought they addressed the offensive line low by taking capable linemen who can easily go on in phase 2. Andrew McDonald, Avery Young, and Corrine Curvin. The majority of the XFL teams are carrying as many as 15 offensive linemen in the minicamp in December, or now. One of the biggest sleepers in the draft was Connor Davis out of Stony Brook. He was at the New York Showcase at Montclair State. He's 6'8", 270 pounds, a great athlete at that size with 10-foot broad jump. He has untapped potential, and with phase 1 tight end Wes Sexton currently in the NFL, and with Johnson Hayes, a former NFL tight end. So since Wes Sexton is in the NFL, it might be possible that Connor Davis be the best tight end in the league, or the best tight end for them and going to start. So this team has great running backs. It has great offensive line, great defensive line, great corners, great safeties. It's the quarterback. That's going to be the question mark. You're going to have a rookie, like a legit rookie that's going to play pro football, or you're going to have a guy that always gets hurt. So I think either way, they're both going to start. I think even if Hanneke starts, ta-amu will finish it. I think ta-amu is going to be a good quarterback. Correct. The thing is, in this league, it's one season, as we know. I mean, it hopefully lasts multiple seasons, but this is a 10-game sprint to get to game 12. They have a lot of upside on this team, but the knowledge and experience helped them win quality players that was on the back end of the NFL rosters. Players who upside hadn't had a chance to be starters. That's what this league's about. So they can tap into that potential of these guys. St. Louis can be dangerous. Can they tap into the potential? If they can tap into that potential and everybody lives up to expectations, St. Louis is going to be great. The reason I have them finish in second in the division is because I don't believe in Jim Zorn or Kevin Gilbride. I just don't. I don't like their situation. I like Brandon Silvers in Seattle, but to me, St. Louis has the better team on paper compared to them two. It's just DC's better. But I have DC and then BattleHawks playing for the East Championship. Again, if the quarterback plays good, St. Louis can make a run for home field advantage. If they get home field advantage in the East in that dome, St. Louis can be going to the championship game. That's his bottom line. With Ricky coach, Ricky quarterback, we're going to see what's going to happen.